Hello, everyone. My name is Janice Jackson, CEO and founder of the RelocationProject.com. Today, I'm here to talk to you about liability management. Basically, how a business is able to fund the business through financing or the sale of equity. So let's get started. Let's talk about one type of financing, which is debt financing. What is debt financing? Debt financing is the action of borrowing money without relinquishing control. A lot of times people try and stray away from debt financing, but one of the benefits to debt financing is that you don't have to relinquish control of your company. How is debt financing obtained? Normally, an entrepreneur will request financing from people like a bank, and if they're approved, they receive the money along with strict conditions, debt requirements, and interest rates. Some debt financing options are private placement, issuing of bonds, and securitization. Best debt financing solutions are based on your company's capital structure. So let's talk about some of these options. What is private placement? Private placement are bonds that insurance companies tend to be attracted to. They're normally the principal investors in these private placements. The bond terms are usually about 5 to 10 years with fixed rates. The insurance companies will invest to generate returns for their customers' premiums, and the entrepreneur then gains liquid capital. Next, we have issuing bonds. Issuing bonds are usually for companies who need funds over an extended period of time, but they don't want to repay the bond until maturity. Securitization allows companies to make money off their assets. For example, if a company has account receivables, what will happen is an investor or a company will buy the ownership of that company's account receivables and give capital, liquid capital, to the owner of the business. Funding my business. Let's talk about some of the pros and cons of financing the business with debt through debt financing. Some of the pros are you get to maintain ownership. Sometimes you can get some low interest rates, and the financing is tax deductible. Some of the cons of funding my business with debt financing are it affects your credit rating. So if you're not paying your loan back, then that could possibly put your credit at risk. Sometimes you get high interest rates depending on your credit. And last but not least, you have to pay back the debt, of course. Now let's talk about using equity to fund your business. What is equity financing? Equity financing is when a company issues common stock to an investor for a liquid capital. A lot of times, by issuing stock to an investor, an entrepreneur can gain capital at the loss of relinquishing some control. So when you're issuing common stock, you're really just giving a small percentage of your company to that investor in order to get capital in return. So which is better? Debt financing or equity financing? Well, debt financing is a bet on your future, that your company is going to make enough money to pay back that loan. You don't really have relationships when it comes to debt financing. The only thing you're doing is paying back your loan. Whereas equity financing often involves venture capitalists or angel investors who want to have some kind of strategic control or some kind of percentage of ownership or stake in ownership of that company. The investor takes most of the financial risk here in equity financing, and the entrepreneur doesn't have to pay back any money. So when it's time to choose the right way to fund your business, you have to take into consideration your capital structure, as we've said before. Most times, small startups choose debt financing because equity financing is hard to obtain. In order to gain equity financing, an investor must see the value and the global reach of your company. So you want to think of it as, if you are going to be a local company or starting off local, you might want to choose debt financing because you don't have a lot of ownership, or you might not be able to get that equity financing at the start of your business. If you are talking about a more global idea of business, then you'll want to reach the people who are going to give you the equity financing. A lot of times companies use a combination of both financing options as the company goes from small to larger scale. These are my references, and thank you for listening. This is Janice Jackson, CEO and founder of the Relocation Project. Hope to see you soon.